Updating our breaking news, the woman who falsely claims she was mugged, molested, and maimed by a crazed African-American Obama supporter is arraigned tonight. 20-year-old Ashley Todd. This is her earlier today. The McCain campaign volunteer appearing in court, entering no plea, being held on $50,000 bail tonight, facing charges of filing a bogus police report, facing another hearing at the end of the month. Let's talk impact and strategy, big picture, with CNN senior political analyst David Gergen and Obama supporter Jamal Simmons. Also with us, CNN political contributor and GOP consultant Alex Castellanos, who supports John McCain. David, this hoax this woman invented about being attacked, it would not have gotten so much attention if it hadn't been taken up by conservative radio yesterday, even some journalists. Does it have any real impact on this election at this point?
No, Anderson, but this distressed woman, I think she ought to be, she has mental problems and she ought to be forgiven and forgotten. But what I think it does illustrate is that at a time when Republicans need to have bold ideas out there, to be putting forth bold proposals about the future, they haven't had a lot to say. And when you have a vacuum, small incidents like this can take up a lot of time, space, and be very diversionary and not amount to do it. They don't really help the Republicans. It just becomes one more story in a passing parade of stories that seem to go nowhere, but leave Barack Obama with a very solid, commanding lead, and he takes advantage of it.
Alex, what do you make of that? I mean, what would you, if you were rating today for the Obama or the McCain campaign, does any one of them, did anyone win today?
Well, it wasn't a good McCain day, I'll say this, because look, Obama's got to do three things to win this election. He's ahead, and he needs to stay on offense, and he's doing that with aggressive TV ads, attack ads. He needs to raise the noise level so McCain can't get a message through. Obama's ahead. He doesn't have to win the argument. He just has to avoid that McCain win it. And then he's got to reassure the public that he's changed, yes, but he's safe. And every day that goes by that the noise level is high, like today, is a good day for Barack Obama. And my recommendation to that, next time someone's going to carve the letter on their face in a mirror, choose the O and not the B. That way, if it's reversed, you wouldn't have a problem.
Well, I mean, this person is clearly just obviously disturbed.
It's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Jamal, for how would you grade it today? I mean, did Barack Obama score points today? Did John McCain? And if John McCain didn't, clearly he's the one who needs to most at this point.
I don't think anybody scored points. In fact, this was, like you said, is incredibly tragic.
I wasn't saying score points with this incident. I'm just talking big picture on the trail today.
Yeah, well, here's what I think is also interesting, that there were these conservative columnists and bloggers who tried to imply that if this even had been something that some person had done and had done this, that this has somehow impacted or had some, Barack Obama bears some responsibility for this. I mean, that was incredibly irresponsible, and I think the people who said that should be reprimanded by someone for having said that. In general, this day and what's happening, Barack Obama's out with his sick grandmother, and so I think he is focused on that. The campaign has, Senator Biden, the Clintons, Michelle Obama have been out there. This is a campaign that's just about momentum, getting people to the polls and being focused on, making sure that all of this great momentum that's occurring is actually going to produce votes for the election.
Yeah, and let me just add one point to that. 2 or 3 days ago, when we talked about the fact that Barack Obama was taking time off the trail, we talked about the fact he was going to leave an opening for John McCain. That essentially there was not going to be any answer. John McCain had an opportunity to be on national television today, along with Sarah Palin, and make their principal arguments. And here another day has gone by that's essentially wasted. And I can tell you the Obama people, I was with the Obama people earlier today, and they're being very strategic about this. They're thinking very carefully about next week. Next week is called the week for closing argument. And they very carefully laid out a plan in their own heads about advertising and other things to make their closing arguments. And then on Wednesday night, they're going to have that 30 minutes. And it's not going to be a speech. I thought it was going to be a big speech. But instead, he's going to speak, but it's going to be a show, in effect, to make a closing argument. That's what you call a strategic campaign.
Alex, it's interesting. There's now all these articles, especially today, we're seeing about infighting in the McCain campaign. Do you have any, I mean, how bad is it? There's all these reports, and they're all sort of unsourced about, some advisors believe Sarah Palin is kind of distancing herself from John McCain. What do you make of all this? Is it as bad as we're reading?
I think if the lights go out, dive for the floor. There are going to be gunshots.
Oh man!
It happens at this point in a campaign that has not gone well. Case in point to David's point that he just made. The best part of McCain's campaign in the last few days, came from the Obama campaign, when Joe Biden stepped in it and said, look, if you vote for Barack Obama, you're inviting an international crisis, in effect. The McCain people did seize on that, took advantage of that. You know, I think they will send Biden to the secret bunker with Cheney for the rest of the campaign now. But when that's the best part of your campaign, gas from the other side, you know, I think it says that you're missing an opportunity to make your closing argument. And that's what the McCain people should be focusing on, not the infighting.
Well, I understand on that point, there actually was an assist given by the media on this because they left out the other part of that quote where he said that Barack Obama had a spine of steel. And I think we have to remember that the point Joe Biden was making was that there'll be a test of a new president and they'll be surprised to find that Barack Obama is as strong a man as he is.
But Jamal, he did kind of get in the weeds on him, and then he went on to say, I mean, it was like this hypothetical that he then kind of had all sorts of other ancillary comments too, like, we're going to do something, but you're not going to like what we're going to do, but we want you to support it. I mean, it was kind of an odd statement, no?
Well, I don't think anybody would make the statement again, but I think we've got to play the statement in its totality.
Okay.
And when you play it in its totality, he did say that Barack Obama had a spine of steel and would be able to measure up to whatever the test was.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Appreciate your thoughts. Next, breaking news in a story where sad details are still developing.